residents of the town of Wappinger and our businesses and other organizations on this very somber occasion. I would normally be addressing everyone along with our other board members on the fourth Monday, which would be tonight, but unfortunately we've suspended the meeting for this evening. Three of the board members and myself were in agreement that it was better to suspend the meeting in order to protect the health of the board, our staff that would have to support it, our consultants, and the public. But rest assured, we will resume those meetings soon. In fact, we are now working on, I spent a good portion of the day today and several days last week, on finding the most appropriate audio-visual technology over the internet resource software programs that will enable us to conduct a board meeting, whether it's from the dais or from home in the event of the situation perhaps deteriorating as far as the health and safety is concerned. But nevertheless, we will be having a program that will go into effect in the short time frame that would in fact enable some participation, perhaps not like a public meeting, but certainly as if you were here for all intents and purposes. I want to assure you that throughout the last couple of weeks especially, myself and the town board have been working very closely together on many aspects of our initiatives that I'll talk about shortly. For example, Councilman Bill Beal, not only has he been supporting us, but also he's been really coordinating a lot of the activities for the Emergency Preparedness Center that the Dutchess County Executive Office has in place, and as well as bringing that knowledge and expertise to the town. Another councilman, Al Casella, has been talking with me regularly and other board members, particularly in plans for aiding in the weeks ahead our residents, as well as perhaps some mutual aid and assistance. In fact, he has also personally donated to some of the causes in which we've been involved. And Chris Phillips has been very active in looking at how we manage our parks, highway department, in assisting us on those activities. So this will continue to be working on in an ever-evolving situation. The core challenge that we are facing, as you probably heard from Governor Cuomo in his excellent comments, our county executive Marcus Molinaro, and the president will be speaking tonight. This is Monday night. That the challenges are to basically accelerate the flattening of the growth of COVID-19 throughout the United States. This means for the town of Wappinger that we have closed a town hall to the public. This was done earlier last week. We have suspended public meetings, also done last week with respect to planning board, zoning board, and these suspensions are until further notice. Hopefully we can get back online fairly quickly with our audio-visual internet capabilities. And also reducing the town staff to a bare essential, and I've heard where it's essential workers, essential businesses, while we have reduced that even further to what I call bare essential. And 100% of all the non-essential workforce in the town, as defined by the governor's proclamations, has been in effect. During this time, though, we are continuing to maintain our code enforcement department to ensure compliance where we are able to do that without entering a home. The highway department, such as today, has been on duty in order to properly take care of the roads. Right now, the storm has been shifting between snow and rain, but they've been out there prepared to help out, as well as sanitation. While we have closed the recycle yard generally, we have maintained it to be open so that kitchen scraps, kitchen garbage can be brought to the recycle yard, especially beneficial to our seniors who don't have that capability. I'd like to reassure you that our town board and our staff are healthy. We aren't aware of any positive cases, and we're not aware of anyone in town hall staff that is under quarantine at this point in time. Before I continue with my comments, I would like to pay a special tribute, and I hope that everyone listening does recognize the unusual sacrifice, devotion of our first responders. And in this town, it's our firefighters, our police through the state police barracks, as well as the sheriff's department, and also our ambulance corps known as MSTAR. Bill Beal has been working hard, as he has been for the rest of the county, to ensure that those first responders are properly protected with the right safety equipment to protect them in the event of some sort of serious situation that requires their service to our residents. We are really all this together, and I think that we owe, anytime you see one of our first responders, please thank them for what has been outstanding devotion to the town's safety, and going forward I fully expect that. Why are we taking these precautions? As you may have heard, Governor Cuomo has announced a number of items, so has our county executive, and what we're facing is a very real threat to the health and safety of our nation and of the world. 189 countries to date have been inflicted with COVID-19 in various forms. As of our, about 1:30 conference call with the county executive and the supervisors and mayors of Dutchess County, there were 88 positive cases of COVID-19. That's where they were tested positively throughout Dutchess County, and 257 people are in quarantine. Every municipality in the county has one case, at least one case, and all the efforts are being undertaken to ensure the general health and safety of the overall population. Most experts believe that we will see a significant growth in the week ahead of contamination, but as Governor Cuomo has said, the wave will eventually break, and I have complete confidence that that is going to be the case. The most important right now is for all of us to protect our vulnerable members, our vulnerable residents. You've heard a lot of comments with respect to seniors and particularly people with pre-existing health issues, and that continues to be the number one goal, is to protect them the best that we can. Therefore, we need to reduce the spread to all hospitals so that they can handle the serious cases as they go in for our hospital bed ICU treatment. So that's one of the reasons for the more austere requirements that have been put into place recently. We're also wanting people to see the benefits of testing. The governor and county executive have implemented a number of measures that have taken testing on a daily basis from 1,000 a day last week to over 16,000 currently. As new test kits come on board, especially in this state where the governor has gotten approval from the president and the FDA to take advantage of the over 200 of our research and development labs, both for producing testing kits as well as to test various medical alternatives to combat this deadly disease. And furthermore, it's important to know, very important to know, that government, all levels of government, are working together at this point in time. And this is truly an unheralded situation where we are seeing at the municipal level, at the county level, at the state level, and increasingly at the federal level, close working together. I believe that the state of New York, while it has led in the number of people that are testing positive, it also has been leading in the cause of getting the best, most immediate health care and treatment for our residents in the state. As an example of what we've been doing, I have been involved in regular calls on a daily basis with the county executive and staff, listening to the various press calls that are online, both for the state and the county. We are texting, there's email, there's a constant flow of information back and forth that enables us and your board and staff here in Town Hall to best protect you the ways that we can. We're also doing and involved in multiple levels of planning over the last few weeks. First, there was containment, trying to actually figure out what is this disease all about and how to best handle it. Then it's understanding the scope, and so some of the calls have involved that. Also then there is what the governor calls New York pause. This is what we're facing right now, in that we are trying to flatten the spread, and through the work from home, through non-essential work, to pause this exponential growth in the disease. And then there's testing, that's already started in the state, and treatment. And last but not least, and perhaps the most important aspect of all the planning, is that we all believe, are all firmly of the belief, that we will get over this, that, as the governor says, the wave will break. So what has to be done, and what are we doing now? We are now starting the planning, first, of assistance to our small businesses. You can go to the county website. Assistant County Executive Ron Hicks has put into place a very extensive program. This is referenced in our website, and you can access the county site through our website. And then beyond that, what the governor has called New York Forward, we're looking at and working together on how we can build a very strong, sustainable economy coming out of this crisis. And assure you, we will. I think the key points at this point in time, just to reiterate a couple things I've said, is that we must stay at home where you are involved in non-essential work. We must stop the spread and what I call mitigate the surge. That's try to lower that surge level that we've seen in other countries, such as in Italy. We must continue to follow social distancing whenever you're outside. You've seen a lot of pictures of whether it's playing basketball on a court in New York City or parks. We must look at that very religiously. And also, we must try to stop a further relapse. Several countries in Asia, such as Taiwan, China, Hong Kong, and Singapore, took some things for granted. They relaxed a little bit, so now they're seeing a second wave, and we hope that it's just a V wave rather than a W wave going forward. So that's why we're seeing more strict measures being applied here in the United States. Also, I'd be remiss to say is, look, please do not touch your face. One of the practices that I have is that I carry with me a tissue set, and I use a tissue. If I feel I have to rub my nose, then I will do that, or my face. And also, all about the washing of your hands. That's very important. And then, taking with you a little dispenser of sanitation gel, in this case Perel, to the extent that you have it available. We have also initiated throughout Town Hall, when our staff is here, Perel dispensers, and when we reopen to the public, those Perel dispensers will continue to exist. We urge you to call Town Hall. We really do urge you to call Town Hall should you have any questions or issues. We are manning phones. We may sometimes be slow in responding, but we will get back to you as we get through some of the recorded messages that are left on the phone system. We are manning phones actively in our code enforcement department. We're checking, as I said, our voicemail, and we have fully upgraded our computer system, our servers, IT system, actually last year. One of the things I and our board have been doing is actually planning for events. We didn't anticipate something this severe, but whether it was some economic downturn, another May 15, 2018 disaster that hit the town. So we've been in the process of upgrading everything, and this has been extremely important, because with the upgraded system, the upgraded security levels, not only have we prevented so far ransomware from attacking the town and shutting down our systems, but it has also enabled us to fully and completely work from home. So I commend my fellow board members for approving, budgets for enabling us to do that. And I think, you should also be proud of the work. In addition, we have put outside of the town hall main entrance drop boxes that are available from 8:30 to 3:30 every day that would enable you to drop off whether or not it's information, requests for planning or zoning board review and approval, for permits, for applications. Then at the end of the day, our staff, that is here from the zoning and code enforcement department will bring it in. They let the box sit for at least a day, and then when they're opening those envelopes, they do wear gloves, which they will then change upon opening to ensure that there is no contamination to them. As you are aware earlier, anticipating other issues as well, we started putting in place new software programs last year that enable us now to collect most monies that are due by credit card and by check, so we avoid cash. There's a great unknown as to what level of disease is transmitted on coins and bills. There really haven't been any studies yet, so we're just taking that precaution that we do not further contaminate town hall in that. We have been wiping down several times a day for those staff members that are here, and actually probably the first time in a long time town hall has had a thorough cleaning of all walls, floors, doorknobs, glass windows, etc. And unfortunately, we have had to postpone, and I emphasize postpone, our town events. We fully intend at the appropriate time when we're able to try to bring a number of these events, if not all of them, back into place, such as the 5K run walk. The Easter egg hunt, we'll still do that, but maybe we'll call it a spring hunt or a summer hunt, depending on the time of the year. But I rest assure you that we are planning for that recovery period to bring back our various activities that have been suspended. For the time being, we are keeping our parks open. The governor and county executive have encouraged that. We do have some very nice parks, but the most really beautiful one with almost 100 acres is that of Carnwath Farms. And in fact, in anticipation that things might get worse, a couple of weeks ago we started a much more enhanced cleanup program at the park before we had to discontinue our staff going out there. So you will see a lot of the brush, a lot of the weeds, a lot of the unwanted shrubs all removed. There's been a beautification campaign. The negative side to it is, of course, our baseball, our soccer, the sports leagues, gymnastic class. We've had to postpone those, and therefore our ball fields are closed to any group activities. There's no permits being issued with respect to that for some unknown period of time until it relaxes. Also, I regret to say that we are in the process of closing our few playgrounds. That has been also at the request of our executives, and also because it's impossible to keep those clean, and those germs could very much spread from children to parents to grandparents. Of course, that's the high-risk category. So until further notice, we are closing the playground equipment that we find in the park. So please make sure that your children do not use those playground equipments. I want to let you know also that we've been planning again for a possible work from home situation, so that we have built up adequate supplies such as diesel fuel, oil, gas for our generators. We do have backup generators, and also batteries and other supplies for enabling us to maintain the highway services, although at a cutback to what they originally would be, but especially our water and sewer. I want to rest assured that Mike Tremper and Camo Pollution Control are fully prepared, have been fully taking all appropriate action to ensure that. You never can anticipate everything, but I think we've done a really darn good job of preparing for all those eventualities. As to code enforcement, I mentioned that we are continuing to keep that open with some reduced activity. Part of that reduced activity is all in-house inspections have been suspended for the time being. Outside inspections are to be scheduled by our clerks. That's going to be on an appointment basis. And I mentioned already that we have a box outside in the front area under the roof where we are accepting various permits, planning documents, etc. in this drop box, again, from 8:30 to 3:30 every weekday, Monday through Friday, not on the weekends, of course. If you want to contact us, I fully encourage you to contact us by email. We now, again, have work from home. All the key people and our staff do have cell phones, so they're able, if they can't connect with a computer at home, through cell phone email connections. And also, on our website, we have posted a number for complaints. Complaints of any violations that you see, you can call in 845-297-4158. Again, 845-297-4158. And also, we are posting on the county and state sites. We're posting on our website, very useful information from the county and state sites that you can refer to, especially on our web page. And that's, you'll go to Wappinger, town of Wappinger, ny.gov. Get onto our recently revamped webpage, and it's another aspect that the board and I have been anticipating having a very much up-to-date, I think, best-in-class website that allows for full and open communication. Joey Cavazzini and also Tom Barr have been really responsible for taking our directives, instructions, and material, updating them, and placing them on what I hope is and believe is a very readable website. And so please turn to our website to stay up-to-date information. We are also posting on our social media, such as Facebook, similar information, but nowhere in the detail that we have on our website. Remember, should you go outside, no groups, no group meetings. You have to enforce social distancing. I know this is tough and it's not in the human nature, but we need to do that. You have to wash your hands for around 22 seconds, if not longer. And you've all seen the demonstrations on television, on social media, of what is the best way to wash your hands. Use the sanitizers, and please use those religiously when you're outside. For example, if you go to the gas station, when you dispense the gasoline from the pump, first, of course, you're punching in numbers on the screen or buttons. Then you grab the nozzle and put it in. You need to wash your hands. What I do is take immediately a sanitizer, or I have some wipes and sanitizer, and then go home and wash your hands thoroughly. Do not touch your face in the interim. And I had requested, and Marcus Molinaro, our county executive, has gotten from the state, I think it's Bureau of Standards and Weights, or Weights and Standards, something like that, a decree to all the gas stations that they are to clean their pumps regularly and maintain a record of those, which actually our code enforcement people could monitor and fine in the event that there's non-compliance. And so those are key items that I really encourage you all to follow religiously. And not just during this crisis, but going forward. It also helps you with respect to flu, which is a recurring event. I want to assure you that from my own experience, I've had a lot of involvement in a previous unfortunate episode, and that was the SARS events back in the early 2000s. I lived through a period of quarantine when SARS hit Taiwan hard. Following the basic rules that we've been talking about here, that other government agencies have been talking about, they stopped the spread. They reduced it and then basically stopped it and saved many, many lives. Taiwan rebounded strong, and so will we. There's no doubt about it in my mind. We have been involved with urging county and state actions that as an individual town and also as member of the Dutchess County Supervisors and Mayors Association, we as a town and the town board have adopted, even starting last year, a strong policy of fiscal responsibility. Of course, we did not anticipate this, but we were anticipating some potential economic downturn as we saw some early signs in the fall during budget season of that. As a result, we did cut back on our planned spending. As you know, our tax rate went down a little bit from before. We did not go and approach our tax cap authorization. And we've been very much planning for the future, as I mentioned at the outset of this discussion. And last but most important is we've been involved on our own initiative and with others on mutual assistance programs that those initiatives are ongoing. I believe tomorrow the county executive will be releasing information on one that is going to take place throughout the county. And this is particularly on food aid to people that need food and delivery of food. So we will rebound. We will be stronger for all this. And the county, town, state are rolling out, a lot of different initiatives. I know there's a lot of data overload, and we're trying to minimize that, but please, anything that we post, we believe is important for you to know going forward. When we look at, various elements of our plan, please, again, keep in mind the sacrifices that our first responders are making, our doctors in the hospitals where currently they don't have enough masks. Please do not hoard. If you don't need to buy toilet paper, hand sanitizer, leave it for someone that does need that, very desperately. Thank you for your attention, for listening to this program. I'd like to end with saying God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. Thank you.